Alyssa Milano, Alyssa, oh my goodness. Alyssa Milano wants to stop having sex. She wants everyone to go on a sex strike. She wants all the vajayjays. Women deny men sex until we have our reproductive rights in order, reinstated. Okay, so the abortion laws passed say if someone is pregnant past 6 weeks, where the child has a heartbeat, it is illegal. It is illegal for them to have an abortion. Now, of course, there's right and left issues. There's people saying, you know what, this isn't right. And they're saying this because of the rape culture that is and has always been all over the world. And you have some people saying that there's consensual rape, which there's no such thing as consensual rape. Then you have people trying to explain away situations. If it was an adolescent who was taken advantage of by an adult, should the child be born into that menagerie if it's incestuous? Should the child be born into an incestuous situation? However, the federal government deemed that all of that is trumped by a heartbeat. One love dub. That's it. We don't care how the child was brought into this world. It is fair for that child, for that soul, to now have a chance at life. And of course, you got people on one side saying, well, that's just crazy because the life that they have been introduced to is going to be chaotic. They're going to be ashamed. They're going to be shamed. They're going to have mental issues. And of course, if they're a female, you know, they think there's going to be all kind of breakdowns that for some reason guys don't have. We're just made of steel. However, this is not true. Men have mental breakdowns just as well as women. Men have been taken advantage of as children just as well as women. The heinous crimes of being taken advantage of, it doesn't have there's no barrier to entry, all right? There's people who've been abused on both, sides of the fence. However, going on a sex strike is not the answer. Because, for one, if Melissa, 46-year-old Melissa, were you on a sex strike when you were, 20? Get out of here. Shut up. Because here's the thing. Going on a sex strike implies that, for one, you're holding something back from your spouse. Okay? Because you didn't say just those of you who are dating. You're talking about all men. And the scriptures clearly read, do not do this. You're setting yourself up for prostitution. Because that man is going to go out and find what he needs. Okay? If he doesn't find it in your loving arms, Melissa, he's going to find it somewhere else. All right? That's just the way it goes. So, no, this is a conversation that adults need to have amongst each other, mates or whatever. And if women are single and they feel like being celibate, don't be celibate because of this. I'm going to tell you another reason why. Because if you're going to another adult, if you're going to an adult male, ladies, and you're saying, I choose not to have sex with you, then there's no rape involved here. This isn't two people who were involved in a crime. This isn't you being taken advantage of, ladies. That's not what this is. These are people who are consenting to or not to have sex. That's not what this is right here. Okay? This whole issue is not with consenting adults who are not taken advantage of. Because if you're consenting adults and you go ahead and have an abortion, this is what the law is talking about. This is more what the law was aimed at. This is what it was aimed at. And there's a lot of other things that are going into this. And if you really want to get deep into it, you have to look at what's going on in Europe and what's going on here in America. The government didn't just make this because some girl out there underage got caught up with some older guy and taken of it. That's not what's really going on here. What's really going on here is the census. This is what this is really about on a worldwide scale, especially in European nations. For those of you who haven't been paying attention, that's what this is really about. This is about the census. Now, there are 245 million Caucasian, 177 million Caucasian that don't speak, Espanol. When you add on those Caucasian who speak Espanol, you got 245. However, your numbers are dropping because of war, because of sickness, because of one reason or the other. Because you go to war with everyone. You're constantly fighting with people who just want you to leave them alone. However, when you do this, you have casualties. And most of your casualties are from men who are 19 and let's say 30. The age you can enter into the service is, I believe, at 18, and it stops around 33 or 31 or something like that. They just raised it. It was 28, now it's like 33 or something like that. So you're looking at that age group. This is a prominent age group. This is a peak age group that is dying on the battlefield in large numbers all over the world. Okay? We send troops all over the world, whether you want to believe that or not. All right? Now, in European nations, they have put out information about the European race declining. And then you have the feminists who have created the whole Me Too movement. And a lot of these women are lying. However, they went after the big fish. And when they did, it was national news. It was national and international news. So what did this create? This created a landslide of A, divorces, and B, men who do not want to get married to European women. Therefore, once again, the census is declining when it comes to white people. Your numbers are going down. So what does the government do when they see this? They want to keep starting wars. They want to keep going and getting people's oil. They want to keep setting up these shadow governments and these puppet governments, and then going and then taking these people down and overrunning the country. This is why Libya is in a mess. And those people are starving and fleeing Libya. It's because of the government. because of the European governments and what they've done to get the oil. Listen, this is a big picture thing here. This is not just some teenager who got into some trouble. This is not some preteen who got, whatever. That's not what this is. They are trying to boost your numbers. And they know that women in women's rights groups and women salvationists all over the European nations are like, we want our bodies. We want to do what we want to do with our bodies. Well, guess what, ladies? Guess what? Who's protecting you out on there on the battlefield? Who built the roads that you're traveling on? The bridges, the buildings? Who did all that? Okay? Who makes your life comfortable? Please don't say a bunch of women did, because they didn't. They contributed, but they didn't do it all by themselves. Matter of fact, you can't tell me one thing that a man uses every day that he needs that a woman built. Not one. You can tell me their involvement in some things, but you can't tell me one thing a man needs every day that a woman created. You ladies need to quit it. You European women are toxic. And you're sick in your head. You need to wake up. In the homosexual movement, also declining numbers in European individuals. You got to understand there's a whole massive effort that is declining your numbers because of what you're doing to yourselves. No other nationality is doing it to you. White people, you're doing it to yourselves. White women, you're doing it to yourselves. You're screwing yourselves even if your legs are closed. You're screwing yourselves over with your loud mouths, with your ridiculous claims of somebody looked at you wrong or touched your nasty behind, and you call the police, and then whole neighborhoods are set on fire and bombs are literally dropped on neighborhoods. Don't say it doesn't happen, because it did. Black Wall Street they had bombs dropped on them because of white women and your lies. So Alyssa Milano, 46, you're done. You're not even, your purpose, the reproductive purpose in your body it's a good chance it's finished. But you're sending out a message to the younger women and telling them, don't give up the nookie until the government fixes whatever. Yeah, right. You know how long it takes for legislation to pass a bill? If you're talking to an 18-year-old female, by the time legislation passes this bill, she'll be your age. So she should just skip out on having a family just because, your vag is not being reproductive anymore. You women are stupid. You women who believe that. You have a whole cadre of women here who are just like, I'm not with you on this. You're crazy. I need my man. I love my man. I'm going to give him the nookie when he asks for it. Hell, I'm asking him for it. And don't say it doesn't happen, because it does. You got women who have their head on the right way and they understand the relationship between a man and a woman. And they may not like what the law has done, but they're not going to shut off their affection to their mate, to their provider, to their God-given blessing, simply because you don't agree. I'm done with this. You guys need to look at the big picture. The government is really trying to bring its numbers back up. But you homosexual movement people, you feminists and lady warriors, you're killing your own self, white women. You're highly toxic and dangerous. And I'm not talking to all white women. I'm talking about the stupid white women. The stupids who did all this crying about, oh, he looked at my... One woman sued a man for $10,000 because he asked her out for a drink. He asked you out for a drink and you sued him because he asked you out properly like a man is supposed to. He didn't touch you. He didn't ogle you. He approached you like a man and said, I would like to take you out. I want to court you. This is what men do. And you sued him? You white women are stupid.